Interactive PDFs used to be the standard for digital publishing. Even though this format has lost many capabilities over the years, in this video I'll show you 3 of my favorite features in Adobe InDesign that still work for interactive PDF. In this tutorial, learn how to add simple button navigation to a multi-page document, create a simple interactive menu, and place a video file. Let's jump in and start creating. The first interactive PDF tip I have for you is adding navigation to a document. This is a great way of strengthening the viewer and user experience. On my screen, I have an 8-page slide deck, and I'd like to add some simple navigation to it. For this, we'll be using the Buttons and Forms panel. To access that, go up to Window, Interactive, and Buttons and Forms. As you can see, I already have mine open here. I'm just going to tear it off and place it on the page near the area that I'm working on. So first, I want to add a next page action to this main icon here on the cover page. I can click on that and convert the object into a button. I'm going to rename this button Enter Button, just to keep it simple. The event will be on release or tap, and the action here is go to next page. So we've set up an action for the viewer to enter the project by clicking this big right arrow icon to take you to page 2. Now if I go to page 2, you'll see that every page in this document has a right arrow icon for next page and a left arrow icon for previous page. Now I can't currently click on these because I've set them up on parent pages. You can see that in the upper right hand corner. If I double click the B parent, we can start adding the actions to these icons. So I'm going to click on the right arrow first and convert that to a button. And let's go ahead and call this next button green. The event is on release or tap again. These all will be. The action is go to next page. Good. Let's do the same thing with the left previous icon. Convert it to a button. Let's rename this button to previous button green or whatever you like. Action here is go to previous page. So now any page in the document that has the B parent page will have these actions applied to those icons. Let's do the same thing to the C parent page. You can see that these are the same icons, but these ones are white. So I'm going to convert that to a button. I'm working on the next right arrow. So I'll call this next button white. And the action is go to next page. Click on the previous icon and do the same thing. Let's convert the object to a button and rename the button accordingly. This time I'll rename it previous button white. Action here is go to previous page. And now that that's all set up, you can see that the previous page action is applied to the left arrow icon, and the next page action is applied to the right arrow icon. I'm going to make my way to the D parent page, and you can see that this page also uses the green versions. So instead of applying those same actions again, we can simply just copy the ones we've already created on the B parent page, Command C, Control C on Windows, go to the D parent. Let's delete these versions, go to Edit, and paste in place. Now if we take a closer look at these versions, you'll see that they have the same naming convention as the original buttons with the exact same actions. They're just labeled with the number 2, and that's fine. And of course, you could always rename these to something else. Now there are a couple pages in this document that don't have the template versions, so I've gone ahead and already added those button triggers to these buttons. So if I go back to page 1, we can actually test out the work in the EPUB preview window. I'm going to reset my workspace here, and I have my EPUB preview window already docked here. You can find it in any of your interactive panels by clicking the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, and you can see that it'll take you to the EPUB preview window. Now I'm going to also tear this off, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so we can get a better look at the project when testing it out. Click on the play icon to refresh the window. Now to test out the buttons, you're going to have to click on the multi-page view. So in the bottom right hand corner, Click on Set Preview Document Mode so you can see all the pages, and then press play again. Once it refreshes, we can test out those buttons. So I'm going to click on that first big arrow icon, which takes me to page 2, page 3, page 4, 5, 6, 7, and all the left arrow icons take us back to the previous page and eventually takes us back to the main cover. Now, creating next and previous buttons are helpful, but what if you wanted to jump to a specific page in a document? Let me show you how that works. Let's use the logo in the upper left-hand corner to set a trigger to go to a specific page in the project. With that selected, if I go back to my buttons and forms and convert that into a button, you'll notice that in the Actions window, there are no options here to go to a specific page within a PDF document. We have the option to go to a first page, last page, next, or previous, but nothing to go to a specific page. You could, however, do that if it was an EPUB or Publish Online document. So to set this up, we'll be using a hyperlink instead. So if I click on my hyperlinks window, I'm going to tear that off, and I want to set this as a hyperlink to take us to, let's say, page 2. Let's just assume that was like an index page or a page that you wanted to target within this document. To do that, let's click on the plus icon in the bottom right-hand corner. Now, this will default to URL where it says link to. We could change that to page and set a link or a hyperlink to a specific page within the document that you're working on. So you can see the document here is Zully Presentation Begin. And I want this to go to page 2. The zoom setting will leave at zoom setting fixed, and then I'll click OK. You'll notice here that the hyperlink is listed, and it's showing me that it's going to take me to page 4. So if I go back to my EPUB preview window, and again, I'll just tear that off and make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to click on the Set Preview Document Mode and refresh. Once that refreshes, we can make our way back to page 4 in the document. Let's use our navigation buttons that we just created. And if I click on the icon or the logo in the upper left-hand corner, that takes me to page 2 in the document. The second interactive PDF tip I have for you is creating an interactive menu using the Show, Hide, Buttons, and Forms panel. Let me show you how that works. On the left-hand side, I have 4 figures that I'm going to convert into buttons to trigger 4 separate facts. Those are right here, 4 text frames that are stacked on one another. If I open my Layers panel, you'll see those here labeled Fact 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just going to turn those back on, and we're going to convert these facts into buttons. They won't have actions, but they need to be buttons in order for this technique to work. So I'm going to select all 4 of those text frames and go to Buttons and Forms. Let's convert all of them into buttons. Now it's important that we rename these as well. So I'm going to tear off the Buttons and Forms panel and tear off the Layers panel and bring them in together. This way we can turn off button 8, 9, and 10. Let's click on the first button, and in the Buttons and Forms panel, we're going to rename this. Let's rename it Fact Button 1. Go back to Layers, turn off Fact Button 1 and turn on Button 8, and we'll rename this button to Fact Button 2. Back to Layers, turn off Fact Button 2, turn on Button 9, which is Fact Button 3. And let's do the last one. And it looks like that button name didn't take, so let's do it again. I'll select Button 9 again and rename it in the Buttons and Forms panel to Fact Button 3. And we can go back to Layers, turn that off, and then do the last one, which is Fact Button 4. And again, hit Enter, otherwise it might not take, and you can see that those are all named now, and that's good. Go back to Buttons and Forms, and now we can set up our figure buttons. Again, we can select all of these and convert them into buttons simultaneously as well, and then add the actions and rename them as well. So let's click on the first button and rename it Figure Button 1. And we're going to do this for the other 3 buttons in the interactive menu. Click the second button and rename it Figure Button 2. Click the third and rename it Figure Button 3. And finally, click the fourth and rename it Figure Button 4. Great, I have all the buttons renamed. Now we can apply our actions. They'll all be show hide buttons and forms, so let's start with the first one and work our way around. With the first figure button selected, let's add an action of show hide buttons and forms. Here you can set the visibility of show, hide, or ignore. Anything marked with an X will be ignored. So when we click the first figure button, we want to show fact button 1. So I'm going to turn on fact button 1 or show it, and then I want the others to be hidden, the other fact buttons. The figure buttons can be ignored because we're not showing or hiding those. Good, now I can click on the second figure button, that's Figure Button 2. And again, this will be show hide buttons and forms. We'll hide button 1, show button 2, and hide the others. Do the same thing for the third. The action here, show hide buttons and forms. We'll hide fact button 1, hide fact button 2, show fact button 3, and hide fact button 4. We have one more to set up here. The last one, show hide buttons and forms. We're hiding everything aside from fact button 4. Now we can test this out again by clicking the EPUB preview window. I'll tear it off and increase the size so we can get a better look at the interactivity. I'm also going to click the play button to refresh the preview window. Let's make our way to the 5th page in the document to test out the interactive menu. You'll notice that they're all showing up here. Even though this does work, they're all appearing when the page loads, and we don't want that, but you can see, look at this, this is working so far, so we can continue on. I'm just going to close that. And before we go any further, I also want to add a rollover appearance to these just to have these buttons pop out a little bit more. So let's click on the first one, and then in the buttons and forms panel, click on rollover. Once you're in the rollover state, we could change the color of the button. So I'm going to double click, and then select all. Go to my swatches panel, and let's give it this swatch here. RGB color swatch of 13, 13, 13. And then if I go back to my buttons and forms panel and go click on normal, you'll notice that I have a normal rollover. Let's do that to the others. So again, click on the second figure button and then click on rollover, double click, and then select all the text. And we're just changing the color on the rollover appearance state. Think of this, you could think of this as an appearance state. So normal, rollover. Good. We'll do the same thing here. Click rollover. It's important you're in the rollover appearance option when you're making any of these changes. Select all the text, and in the swatches panel, change the color again. You'll have to click on your selection tool to exit and then click back on normal. And then we'll do the same thing for the last one. The last button here, rollover. Double click a couple times until you can access the text, and then change the color to the dark RGB color that's provided in the swatches panel. For this example, we only want the first fact box to appear when the page loads. And so to address this, for the time being, let's go to the layers panel and hide the fact button 1 layer momentarily. I'll turn it back on after the next step. Select the other 3, so 2, 3, and 4. Go back to buttons and forms, and let's hide these until they're triggered. See this little checkbox here, hidden until triggered? Go ahead and select that. Then we go back to layers and turn fact button back on, the first one. So if we test this out again, it looks like I closed my EPUB preview window, but I can click it here. You see now, there's only the first one that will appear. All these rollover appearance states work, so I can click on 2, 3, and 4, and you can see the corresponding fact is aligning with the figure. The third and final interactive PDF tip I have for you is placing a video in a document. This is great for showcasing short clips or brand videos. Here's how you place a video. We're going to be using the media panel to add a video to this page. To access the media panel, make your way up to Window, Interactive, and click Media. You can see I already have mine open here. I'm going to tear it off and place it next to the placeholder shape where the video will go. In the bottom right hand corner, click on Place a Video or Audio File. Locate the MP4 file that's included in the exercise files. It's called zullyvideo.mp4 and click Open. You can see it's in my loaded cursor here. If you click and just drop it in, it might come in very large and you'll have to scale it down. That's why it's a good rule of thumb to create a placeholder shape. So you could just click in the upper left hand corner and follow along with that shape, and then simply just release. Even though you can view videos in a PDF, you won't have the playback controls. That means you can't pause, stop, or resume a video in a PDF. However, it's still a bonus that videos are supported. In the media panel, you have some other options such as playing the video on page load if you want the video to launch when the page is loaded. There's also an option to play in a loop if you want to repeat the video. I'll leave both of these unchecked. You also have the option of choosing your frame. So it's going to grab the first frame in the video as your cover or your poster frame. However, if you scrub through to another area and then click on this refresh icon, it'll refresh to that current frame. And you can keep doing that until you're satisfied with the frame for the poster. You also have the option of adding your own poster image. So if I click on this drop down and choose the Choose Image option, there's a video cover here that I've added with the exercise files as well. Click that and click Open, and you'll notice here we have our own custom poster frame. I've added a play button on there so that people viewing the document know that that's a video file. Again, if I test this out in my EPUB preview window and just refresh it by clicking the play button, you'll notice that the video has that cover. I can click on it and it will automatically play. Next, let me show you how to export the file and view it in Adobe Acrobat to test out all the interactivity. To export the project as an interactive PDF, make your way up to File, Export, and then from the format, choose Adobe PDF Interactive. Go ahead and click Save. Ensure that you're exporting all the pages as single pages. You can also change your view settings. I like to keep mine at Fit Page. And then click Export. Let's jump over to Adobe Acrobat and view it in that platform. I've opened the PDF in Adobe Acrobat and I'd like to view it in full screen mode for a better viewing experience. So click on View and Full Screen Mode. As a first step, I'll click on the Enter button to take me into the document or page 2, and you'll see that all the navigation buttons that we set up earlier on are working fine. Let's test out that interactive menu. You can see if I click on each button, it triggers each fact in this interactive menu, and the rollover hover appearance is working fine as well. If I make my way to the last page, the one with the video, I can click on that preview and the video plays just fine. And that will play once because I only set it up to play when the user clicks on the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video on 3 of my favorite interactive features in Adobe InDesign that still work for PDF. If you found this video helpful, leave a like and hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all my latest content. Until next time, take care and keep creating.